Today I'm going to go over lesson 4, which is all about odd and even numbers, and it's on page 31 in your white book. So first we're going to do some review. So if I have 2 stars and I want to make them into a pair, I can circle them, and this makes one pair. There's no stars left over, so that means that 2 is an even number. So I'm going to put a 2 under this group of even numbers. Say I try a different number. Say I try 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, I'm going to try to make them into pairs. So I'm going to try to circle 2 together. So these 2 are a pair. These 2 are a pair. Uh-oh, but this one's left out. He doesn't have a partner. This star is all by itself. So this makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 an odd number. So we're going to put the number 5 under odd. So let's try a couple more. How about we have the number 8? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, we're going to try to make pairs by circling 2 of the stars together. So here's one pair, another pair, another pair, and another pair. If you look, you can see that there's no stars left over. So this makes 8 an even number. So 8 is also an even number. What if we just have 4 stars? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do the circling to make pairs again. So here's 1, here's another. There's none left over. Everyone has a partner. So that means that the number 1, 2, 3, 4, because there's 4 stars up there, is even. So 2, 4, 8, we know, are all even so far. What if we just have 3 stars? Again, we're going to try to make pairs. So here's one pair, but this star is left out. This one doesn't have a partner, so that makes 3 an odd number. So 3 is an odd number. If you look on page 31 in your book, it goes over odd and even numbers. So it says that odd numbers are those that end in 3, 5, 7, and 9, while even numbers are any number that ends in 2, 4, 6, and 8. Let's double check one more number. What if I have 10 stars? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to try to make partners again by circling 2 together. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everyone has a partner and there's none left over. So this makes 10 an even number. 10 is an even number because it ends in 0. So even if I were to have 20, if I added 10 more, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now I have 20 stars up here. Let's see if I can keep circling to make partners. So here's another one. There's still no stars left over. Everyone has a partner. So the number 20 would also be even because it ends in a 0. There's a 0 in the ones place value. So even numbers are those that end in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. And odd numbers are those that end in 3, 5, 7, 9, and also 1. If I just have 1 star, remember, in order for it to be a pair, it has to have 2. There's no other stars to make a partnership. So this one is all alone, and it's an odd number. So now we're going to do some example problems. So if you turn to page 32 in your book, there's a picture of some leaves at the top. So I drew the leaves on this whiteboard right here. So it first asks you how many leaves, and then it says, is that number odd or even? So first we're going to work on that first question. So how many leaves are here? To help, instead of counting by ones, we're going to count by twos. You can kind of see that some are kind of grouped together. So let's count by twos. So this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, then one more, 12. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. This is a lot faster than if we were to count each leaf by one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So counting by twos goes faster. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So for the first part, it says the answer is there are 12 leaves total on this page. But then it's asking you something else, so don't forget that second question. It's asking you, is 12 an even or an odd number? Remember, we're going to look at that last number. So it ends in a 2. So look at these numbers. If it ends in a 2, will it be odd or even? You can see it's going to be even because it ends in a 2. If you want to double check, we could draw them out too. Or you can even just look at my picture. I made partnerships by circling in 2, and there's none left over. So that means that 12 is an even number. Now we're going to go to example 2. But first, before we do that, I wanted to also let you know that if a number is even, you can split that number up into 2 even groups. So look down here for a sec. So look at these blue blocks I have. Let's try to split them into 2 different groups to see if it's even. So I'm going to take one, put it on that side, and then take this one and put it on this side. I'm going to keep doing that. One for one side, one for the other. So if you look, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 2 even groups. Each has 4 in it. So I could make an equation for this number. I could write 4 plus 4 equals 8. So 4 plus 4 equals 8. If you go back to that first page, or what we wrote up here, if it ends in an 8, it's an even number. So, like we just showed, that number can be split into 2 equal groups. There's the same amount in each group. 4 on this side, 4 on this side. So let's try another number. What if I have 3 in each group? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, looking up at what we wrote earlier, 6 is an even number. So it should be able to be split into 2 groups, and it is. Each group has 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So if I wanted to make an equation for this number, I'd write that there's 3 in this group, plus another 1, 2, 3 in this group. And that equals 6. So looking at this number, or at this equation, these 2 numbers should be the same for an even number. 3 plus 3 equals 6. These 2 numbers are the same. They can be split into 2 equal groups because the number 6 is even. It also gives you some more information on that on page 33 and other examples. Let's go to that example 2. So it has a lot of shapes at the top. So it says, write an equation to show that 24 can make equal groups. Use this model to make the groups. So it shows the pictures for you. I'm also going to use these green blocks to help us out for right now. So I'm going to do what I just did. I'm going to take this big pile and split it into 2 even groups. So I'll move these over by me. I'm going to make 2 groups. So one on this side, one on this side. Just going to keep doing that until all the blocks are gone. just going back and forth. And I don't have any green blocks left. So before I counted out 24, just like it shows at the top and it tells you, and then I just split them into 2 groups. I went back and forth, adding to each group. So now I'm going to try to figure out how can I make an equation. So remember, I'm going to count the amount of blocks in each group. So first let's count this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm going to write that on this board. So I have 12 in this group. So now, remember, we know that there's a total of 24. So 24 ends in a 4. So it is an even number, and we should be able to split it into 2 even groups. So let's count this side to double check that it's 12 also. So remember, these 2 numbers should be the same if you split them into 2 even groups. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's also 12 in this group. So 12 plus 12 equals 24 would be your equation for this last example. So now it's your turn. I want you guys to try to go to page 35, 36, and 37 and do all the problems by yourself.